слева.
Где он? Нормально, нормально. Уходит, налево уходи, уходи. Он видит тебя, все нормально.
Stand up, Lewis. These troops you can see over here, they are Russian airborne forces. They have taken this airport. They've allowed us to come in and be with them as they defend the perimeter of this air base here, where helicopter-borne troops, these troops, were landed in the early hours of this morning to take and to form an air bridge to allow for more troops to come in. You can see these are Russian forces. You can tell they're Russian. I've spoken to them already. You can tell they're Russian. They've got that orange and black band to identify them as Russian forces.
Пацаны, патроны по экономке. Это все прилеты явно не наши были.
February 24th, 2022, Bolshoi Bakov Airport. On the morning of February 24th, VDV units are loaded into transport helicopters and departed around 9 a.m. By 11 a.m., they land at Hostomel Airport and begin their assault, marking the official start of the war in Ukraine. For the next 895 hours, roughly 37 days, intense fighting continued until Kyiv was fully back under control by Ukrainian forces. During that time, photos, videos, and other items from both sides surfaced, some becoming infamous. Among many units present, the VDV was the most well-known, but this isn't a history lesson. One unit, in particular, stood out, the 45th Guards Spetsnaz Brigade. Already famous among pressenists for their roles in the Chechen War and Georgia conflicts and numerous training ops, the 45th gained a cult-like following after Hostomel. Even now, people still ask how to build their kits. That's why I'm here to help with that. Before we start, I want to make it clear, I'm not offering groundbreaking insights, and this isn't a one-to-one kit guide. I'll highlight gear you can reasonably source for yourself. I'll also include where to find some of these items, so stick around. We'll start from the top and go down, from helmets to boots, then accessories. When we get to vests and belts, I'll cover pouches and related gear, but for now, let's start. Now starting off with helmets. The most common helmet was a 6B47 with the standard issue cover and St. George ribbon wraparound. If you're not doing a strict one-to-one impression, a repro will do just fine. Don't let someone in Discord tell you otherwise. A mostly real kit with a few AliExpress items is totally fine and budget friendly. Ara's Arma fast and airframe clones were also seen. Both are Chinese made. You can recreate the airframe using a Militech airframe and a Cry Velcro kit. For the fast, you can buy a shell and AliExpress parts for around $325 before shipping. You can also just go to the Pastebin down below where I link these. AA Shield is another Chinese brand that was used in all sorts of colors, but I recommend sticking with the 6B47. Now for the main part, the vest. Many vests were used at Hostomel. Basically every Ara's Arma variant up to 2022. Most people associate the A18 with this, but the A17 was way more common than the A18. But besides all that, a personal favorite of mine is the Gearcraft Strelets, used in multicam and ATACs. You may be asking, where can I get this vest? You can check out Tanki store on Instagram or Tank Shop on Facebook and message them about purchasing items from Russia. The Gearcraft vest I mentioned is available for $450 shipped. That's right, all included in one payment. They can also order from other Russian brands, just ask. Unfortunately, they can't ship hard armor or helmets, but they do offer a soft armor service if you're looking to add soft armor to your vest. By the way, I'm not sponsored. I'm just recommending them, honestly. So head over to Tanki Shop for your Russian gear needs. Anyway, back to the video. Besides Gearcraft, the MBC Phantom in ATACs and the MBS-X in Multicam were used, as well as the Western Warrior Assault System DCS in Multicam. If you wanted to stay with the Ratnik vibe, the old Gen 6B45 and the 6B46 were also heavily used. maybe not the 6B46, but the 6B45. I forgot to mention the Aros Arma A20 in multicam and the ANA Tactical M2 in multicam. The ANA can be purchased from eBay, while the Aros Arma can be purchased from the international store. The reason this list might seem a bit lacking is because I'm purposely leaving out vests that are no longer made, have been discontinued, or for other reasons. I'm also leaving out a few because I couldn't find references for them. However, I'm now going to show a list of vests on screen I couldn't find references for, but was told by a reliable source they were used. If you wanted a groin pad, the simplest option is the A18 Aros Groin Protector in multicam or tan. For something unique, Ukrainian Corsair protectors in brown OD and MM14 were seen. USGI M81 Interceptor groin pads were also seen in use by 2 members. Also, Gearcraft groin pads in ATAX and multicam. Now onto belts. Sorry for the lack of belt pics, as you really can't get a good idea on most of them, and a lot of this info came from a trusted but anonymous 45th impressionist who wanted to help me out. So that's why there's probably going to be no pictures here. Aros Arma A19 from the international store is one of the ones that isn't discontinued that you can currently buy. Besides that, Wartech TV123 and Wartech TV133 in multicam. NBC's lightweight anatomical belt Type 2 in multicam and NBC's anatomical combat belt X in multicam are also 2 options that you can buy to keep to a one brand kit. If you don't want to keep to one brand, SVRR Centron Concept Belt in multicam and Stitch Profi's Tactical Banded Stitch Belt in multicam are 2 other belts you can use to mismatch your kit. Now, onto pouches. Since I don't want this video to turn out even longer, I'm going to be displaying a list on screen with the brands and pouches in the next section to keep this from dragging on. So pause to see as that goes on. Now to uniforms. 2 standard types were seen besides the private purchase, the VKPO sets, which range from the 1st layer to the 8th layer, and SPN sets by JSC Voentorg. If you're wondering what the SPN set is, it's how it sounds. It's a set made for special brigades, mostly usually mountaineering, but also the 45th VDV had some. They're hard to tell apart visually, but there's a few signs and the tag. SPN sets are rare and hard to source in the West, especially since Russian customs are now seizing current issue gear. For the private purchase tops, an ANA M2 combat shirt in EMR and a Ukrainian Army service fleece was seen. For pants, the most common were just the standard VKPO pants matching with whatever layer they were using. For private purchase, ANA Natisk pants in EMR were seen, and Voin pants were also seen. But good luck trying to get those, because everyone's been trying to get those since 2022. VKPOs are everywhere. You can find them on eBay, to random sites, and random sale posts on Reddit. For the ANA pants, you'll probably have to find them secondhand or use Tanki Shop. Now for the boots. Many types were used. The most common were the standard issue of Faraday boots, found on AliExpress or eBay. The other options are Ukrainian Talon boots in gray and Loa Zephyrs. They're solid, wearable outside of impressions, and they were seen in all colors. But if you don't want to buy some new boots, generic black combat boots work fine too. I've never seen anyone call someone out for their boots. Finally, coming to the end, we're now at accessories. These add small details and a nice touch of variety instead of looking plain on your impression or kit. Outside the standard 6P47 cover, you have the SRVV, fill-in, and Stitch Profi all in multicam. If you want a headlamp, this one right here will suit you best. For goggles, 6P50, 6P43, and ESS goggles were seen. The lens color does not matter. For headsets, Howard Lite is a budget-friendly headset that you can pick up from AliExpress, but if you want something more expensive, MSA Supreme Pro X headphones were also in use, and kind of a Gucci item. There's probably a few others that I'm missing, but this is all I have. For helmet mounts, you can either get a 1PM38 or a GoPro mount. The GoPro mount can be found on Amazon, but a 1PM38 probably could be 3D printed. For knee pads and arm pads, the 6B51 set was seen in wide use. For gloves, Mechanics Original, Impact, or Fast Fit were used. If you want to keep the Ratnik style, 6HH122 gloves in black fit well too. Tanki shop sells these, but you can also find them on eBay. SRVV Magnum gloves and SOCOM gloves were also seen in use. Now finally, for the sitting mat, Stitch Profi's Zasalon in Multicam, SRVV 5-point seat in ATAX, and Gearcraft's Hob in Multicam and ATAX were all seen in use. For backpacks, I just recommend anything from Technicom, the 6SH117 or 118. But besides that, I'm done with this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe. I really did spend my time on this video, and if it helped you, please just do that too, because it's the best way to support what I do. If I got anything wrong, which I probably did, feel free to correct me in the comments. Other than that, I hope you all enjoyed, have a great day, and I'll see you next time.